My name is Kiondo. I am a mother, I am a friend, I'm a sister, and I'm a businesswoman. I was born into a family of 4 kids. I am the third born. 3 sisters, 1 brother. We grew up in California. I'm sure you know of Calif Records. It was literally just next door to where we lived. I was known, according to what I had people say, I was known to be a polite child. But as we've grown up, I'm not sure the politeness is still there, but I used to hear people say she's very kind and she's such a polite and quiet girl. As I said, we grew up in California Estate. I went to St. Anne's Primary School, which is along Jogo Road. The most things that I remember when I was a child is my parents had a business, and they had a grocery shop in the estate. And I fondly love telling that story because I feel like it built the character of the person I've become now, because we always helped our parents to go to Kikomba to source for the vegetables, and on the weekends and the holidays would always be at the shop selling to the customers. So of course, after primary school St. Anne's, I went to Kilimanjaro Secondary, which is in Lukenya. I finished my O-levels there. Then I went to do PR, Communication and Journalism, in the University of Nairobi and Kemu University. Then thereafter is when I just joined the workforce. Or just between university and really being fully employed, I started working at the age of 17 years. After we finished high school, I didn't know how to just be idle, because remember, I started selling in a shop, I think as early as 9 years, 10 years. So when we finished and I had so much time at home, I was like, I don't know what to do with my life. I remember taking a matatu to town, and I went, and my goal was to look for a job. So I went shop to shop asking for, are you looking for a shop attendant, or are you looking for someone to, do you need somebody to? So I walked to many shops selling clothes, restaurants and whatnot in search of a job. This was in Nairobi CBD. Then I think within that week, a friend of mine called me and told me, there's this restaurant looking for waitresses, would you apply? I said, oh, why not? It was an Italian restaurant. So I went and applied and I got the job, which I did for 3 jobs. So my very first job was a waitress in an Italian restaurant that I did for 3 months. Then I think I was like, okay, let me go for college. Clearly, I think I need more education. So that's when I joined college and did PR. After that, I think I was in between jobs, doing reception work. Then eventually I went to the job that impacted the most who I am today. I worked for a church. This is Mavuno Church. I started as a receptionist and I worked for them for about 9 years. By the time I was leaving, I was the facilities manager and administrator. I remember before I joined Mavuno, I had been employed in a place that I felt, my skills are not being utilized. And I remember making a prayer and saying, God, I want to go to a place that I feel like my gifts and my skills are being utilized. And I feel Mavuno answered that question. So when I went there, I encountered and I met skills that I didn't even know I have, leading teams, doing administration, business, and many other things, because I was there for 9 years and I was not in one role. I think I was in 4 many, I transitioned in between roles over the period of time that I was there. How I got into business is, I think just before COVID, I resigned, and I think I read a lot of business books and I read a lot of magazines for business, and I desired to go into business because I felt like business will give me what maybe employment will not give me. For example, I usually say when you give a monkey a banana and money, monkey will choose a banana, not knowing that money can buy him a banana for the rest of his life. And so I felt like employment was really stifling me, and I was not able to explore and do many other things. I also felt like by the time I achieve what I want to achieve financially in employment, I might take longer, because I know in business today I can get a supply need for, of 200,000 or even 300,000. In business, in employment, before you make that money is, quite a challenge. My turning point was I traveled out of the country, and we went with my friends to Cape Town, South Africa. That is very significant to my journey, because as a business person, because that's the day I saw opulence in life. And when I came back to Nairobi, where I live, I was like, I don't think this is the life I want to live for the rest of my life. It opened my mind to dream more and to just aspire for more. So what changed that is where we lived in Cape Town was, we didn't know, but when we met the locals, they will tell us, how are you Africans living in such area? And later we realized, because we were many, we were 8, and it was really affordable for us. I think we didn't spend over 25,000 Kenyan shillings in accommodation, but per individual. So when you put times 8 people, it's a lot of money. We were living in a very posh area. So when we came back, we realized we've encountered one of the richest places in Cape Town, in part of this Africa. And when you come back home, you're just coming to dust and traffic and sewerage and issues outside our estate. And that's when I realized I need to do more. During that time, I was reading a book that says the millionaire's mindset. And one of the things that stood out for me was, it's only business that will cut it for you. To some extent, because I felt like in employment I was very limited with my skill. I was not so exposed, because I know there are people who in employment have done great things, but for me I felt like it was limiting me. And that's why I felt the drive to leave employment and to go into business in the quest to just expand myself financially. So I started dreaming, and I started, seeing what businesses I will do. I registered a business, but because of the nature of COVID, the business could not thrive, because it depended so much on people being in offices. And because people are not in the office, I had no work. So I said, okay, what do I need to do? And that is where the birth of the Kiondo business started. Yeah. So the Kiondo business is a beautiful journey. I really love telling the story, because it's a story that it's just not a business for me. It was really born out of love. So I love Kiondo bags. I would just buy for myself, and carry. But the turning point again was when I carried one to my friends' hangout, and they were like, how can you buy yourself such a beautiful bag and utusahau? So what did they do? One of them stole my bag, removed my things, and went away with my bag. And then I said, okay, not to worry. After that, I started gifting them. So if it's their birthdays, I'll gift them. If it is whatever they're celebrating, I'd go buy for them. I've bought so many bags. And I have many friends even who live in abroad. And when they come carrying so many gifts. And so sometimes you wonder, what will I give them in return? You can't buy them the things they bought for you, because really they're coming from abroad, they're coming out there. So I would resort to buying something, local, something authentic to our culture, and I would always find myself buying the Kiondo bag. So I would gift them all the time. Then one day, my friend, a very good friend of mine, told me, Catherine, you're always gifting people. I think it's time you start selling these bags. I said, no, I don't. She said, why? Because you carry them every day, and I see you looking good. Whether you're going to the office or going to the market, you're always with a Kiondo bag, and you look good. For me, it appears like it's not a mother's thing or a shopping thing only. For me, it looks like a Kiondo is an everyday thing, and you will sell that concept well. I used to listen to her and say, okay, and then she would keep on pestering me. I used to ignore it until one day she told me, imagine you will start that business. Now it won't be for you. You're starting it because I forced you. You're doing it for me. I said, okay. And she said, as a matter of fact, I'll give you money to start the business. I staggered. I said, if it is that serious, then let me just do it for you. Don't give me the money to start because I have. Let me just start with the little capital I have, but I will start the business. That week, she called every single day of that week. Did you go and buy stock? 1 week later, I said, okay, fine. Let me just do it for her, I went and bought 5 pieces that were worth 5,000 shillings or, about there. So, and I met my friends again randomly, and I told them, I've been gifting you, now I'm selling. They all went out. They were all sold in 1 minute. And then I was like, okay, I went back for more stock. The thing that really made me realize that this is the business I should be in, as you had heard, my friend used to tell me, you're always carrying Kiondo bags. You look good with whatever outfits you wear. Why don't you just sell it? So one time when I'm walking in town, just after the first bunch sold out, so I've gotten a few other pieces, like 4 or 5. I was walking in the streets of Nairobi and a lady stopped me and told me, wow, this bag of yours is so beautiful. Where did you buy it? Again, I stammered through telling her, I sell them. She said, really? You don't look sure? I said, it's because I'm starting, but I actually do sell it. Do you have a piece like the one you're carrying? I said, yes. I said, let me get your number. I'll send you pictures of what I have. Whichever you like, I'll send them to your way. And that is how, after that minute, I stopped wherever I was going and turned back and went now for more stock. For me, that lady changed everything for me. Forget my friend. I felt like my friend was just pushing me. But those 2 people made me get into this business. And now when I look back, it was really meant to be, because all my friends that I ever gifted have purchased and over-purchased, because they are like, it's true, you are too generous. You gave us for random every small thing. And now that you're in business, we'll always support you. Thank you so much for watching Everyday Woman. Please don't leave your seat. We'll be back shortly. Passion is business and entrepreneurship. And I feel like my passion is to enable as many people to get into business as they can and to believe that they can do it. It breaks my heart to see that someone does not have a source of income or does not know what they will do. And when I look around me, every single moment, I see over 10 opportunities right now, I can even count, to do business. So I am looking forward to just tapping into my passion and empowering women, and not only even women, empowering people to be confident enough to walk into doing business and believing that they can do something about their lives in business. The thing that I've struggled with the most, that has come out even more evidently now, is I don't know if it's a woman's thing, but I've had women say this a lot, but personally I felt like you always second guess yourself. In employment, you want to do something, you want to speak, and you're always thinking, does that point make sense? Is it something stupid I'm saying? I found also in business is, do I need to expand? What if it doesn't pick? What if it's not the right thing? So it's just always, the biggest challenge I've encountered is always second guessing myself and believing that just keep doing it, just going, just believe in yourself and do it. The advice that I would give any person who is just second guessing themselves is, it's just a second guess. Just go out there and do what you must do. Believe in yourself and do, because I feel like life is not cast on a stone and there's no rehearsal. So long as you're doing something that you love, something that you enjoy, I would encourage you to just go out there and do it. As much as you have no direction, as much as you don't know tomorrow will I still be doing it, I would urge that stand up and do it. Tomorrow does not matter. Then what matters is this minute, is this moment, and can you do it this moment? Yeah. I've been in search of mentors, and I realized they don't easily come by. And the more I read and did research, I realized sometimes the easiest way to get mentors is to buy books and read them. So locally, I admire women like Esther Mushemi. I think she's quite a good businesswoman. I've read a few of her books. Because I've never met her one-on-one, I find mentorship in her books. Globally, I love Brian Tracy books. I read them a lot. I find them answering the questions that I have, like how do I sell, how do I break this glass ceiling, this challenge that I'm having. Every time I go to his books, I just find that he has nuggets of wisdom that help me to go forward. So I'd say there's a very huge gap in mentorship in our community. And I personally aspire, as I've said initially, my passion is just to equip or mentor people and show them that you can do it, and I can guide you on how to do it, because I feel like I've walked this journey 3 years and I might probably walk it for the rest of my life. I feel like there's room for, mentors and mentorship, mentees and mentors. A leader cannot be afraid. Yeah. A leader is an outspoken person. And quite frankly, I consider myself a leader. I am not the person who sits back when I see injustice happening. I'm not the person who will be silenced when I feel like my voice will matter in this situation. So if there's a woman somewhere seated and they want to be a leader, you will have to be proactive. You have to be proactive. You have to step up and let your voice be heard. Take action and do something towards what you feel or think you should be doing, because leaders don't sit back. Leaders are not quiet. Leaders, some people say, are born, others are made. But however way you consider yourself as a leader is you must take action, and you must be at the forefront of what you advocate, of what you say, and you must lead by example. You can't be pointing fingers and sitting behind. You just have to step up and do something and be seen and be heard. Personally, my definition for success is being content with what I have defined for myself, because I feel like the world has a very varied definition of success. One person will say it's this, another person will say is that. I usually prefer to sit down and define success for myself. I have defined success as being authentic, the most authentic person I can be, present. I'm a mother, as I said before. For me, success is being present in my child's life. If they need to do homework with me, I'm home on time to do that assignment with them. If success also could mean exploring and innovating things that bring you joy, forgetting what the world says, because I feel like when we match ourselves against the world, it keeps changing. So for some people, it's owning 5 Bugattis. You wonder, you can only drive one at one point. So I just feel like define what it is success it is for yourself, what brings you joy, and go ahead and attain and search and attain and look for that and find it. Some of the highlights in right now in business is getting like corporate clients. I mean, when you're selling products, today you will wake up, sell 5 bags. Tomorrow, maybe sell none. 3 days later, sell 20. But when you get corporate clients, I mean, you're selling close to 100 bags at a go. That means when you're being paid, you're paying a chunk of money at once, which we all know when a chunk of money comes at once, it has more impact than when it comes in a piecemeal. So for me, the highlight is getting corporate clients, and I love it because we work closely with them. They say, okay, we want this type, and for me, it's a joy to bring their idea or their dream into life by producing the Kiondo baskets they aspire to give to their colleagues or their teammates. One of the greatest lessons I've learned in business is resilience. There's a time business will not do well, and there's a time when you only have one business and all your needs are dependent on it. It might take even longer to expand and to thrive even, or maybe to cut it. So, and that's why I've seen sometimes people start business and in 2 years they've closed, because it's the business you're trying to build, but you're still eating there because you must pay rent and you must pay these other bills. And so resilience is one thing, and believing that keep going even if it's tough. Ask for help around you. I mean, when my business was struggling, because there's a point my Kiondo business was struggling, we had gotten to a point where, when I sell 10 bags, it's going to pay rent, buy food, and do every other thing. So at some point, you have no bags to sell, and you have to wonder, where is it coming from? I looked around my friends, and I got a loan to help me, and it boosted me a big chunk that, by the time you're restocking bags for 50,000, you're now feeling okay. Now I can pay the debt, and I can do a lot more with this. So, but then that comes from resilience and not giving up. Just deciding that you have to keep doing because you believe in what you're doing. What I do to remain relevant in this business is, first and foremost, to show people that Kiondos are not for Saturday, and no, they are also not for our mothers. In fact, mothers outdid it kitambo. I remember trying to sell my mom a Kiondo, and she was like, it's going to brush my blazers. And I said, I think you people are carrying different Kiondos from our time. Our time is different. So how do we stay relevant we can go to office as I've dressed up. I've chosen not to wear an African attire because, Kiondos are known to go with African attires. Yes, traditionally, it's not bad. They always look beautiful, but you can go to work with them. So showing people that you can style your Kiondos differently is a way I feel like you can stay relevant, because I did it even before I got into business. I would carry them to the market. I would carry them every day to the office. I remember when I got my child, it is the bag that I used to go to. It was my maternity bag. I didn't carry those Chinese bags and they are torn after every 3 months. I bought a very good Kiondo bag and it fit everything for my child, and I used to love going with it to maternity clinics. Yeah, so being relevant is knowing that you can carry your Kiondo bag everywhere and anywhere. It doesn't matter what outfit you're wearing. Oh, I envy those days I was employed, because 8 to 5 is perfect. I mean, I could run home and watch whatever series I want. I have no time. As a businesswoman, you have no time. By the time I wake up to source those Kiondo bags, I'm in the market by 4 a.m. in the morning, because you want to get the best. When I was employed, I don't remember ever waking up that early. So what I wish I was told is it's gonna get tougher. It will need more from you than ever before. So more of your time, more of your determination, more of resilience, more of hard work to see that whatever you're doing will have to succeed, that must succeed. You give a lot more. So I wish somebody told me, it's just gonna get tougher. I think being in business and being self-employed is more difficult because it requires a lot from you.